So I've concluded the Fourth Reich is the solution. Now let's talk about the Third Reich. Now you have imbecile right-wing racists who, when they have visions or agenda of reviving the Fourth Reich, they will imitate and do everything the Third Reich did. So if the Third Reich persecuted the Jews, they're going to persecute the Jews in the Fourth Reich. If the Third Reich persecuted the gays and the gypsies, well, they're going to persecute the gays and gypsies in the Fourth Reich. And that's such an idiotic, imbecile way of viewing things. The true Fourth Reich is going to learn from the Third Reich's mistakes, meaning the Fourth Reich is not going to repeat what the Third Reich did. That's the true Fourth Reich. Now, this could scare or frighten the Jewish community to speak like this, but that is not my intention. I'm very fond of Jewish anti-corruption, anti-capitalist champions such as Right Honourable Gentleman Bernie Sanders, the lovely Noam Chomsky, and I am fascinated by the Jewish-raised scientist Carl Sagan. And I do not wish to recreate their suffering or see them suffer or see them become frightened. That is not my goal, or that is not what I'm intending by doing this blog. My vision for the Fourth Reich is the Fourth Reich must learn from the Third Reich's mistake. So what was the Third Reich's mistake? The Third Reich's mistake was they have every right. They have every right to be angry at the preventable Holodomor famine in 1932. Because they're going to look what Stalin did in the Ukraine, and they're going to look at those who made them surrender in World War I on the home front and say, oh, that was precisely why the German army was in Eastern Europe, to stop the Russian, or the Iron Hands from doing that in the Eastern Europe. They were there to protect Eastern Europe. So that's why they were there. They weren't there because they were made to surrender. So it's the blame of those who made them surrender. So who made them surrender? The Rothschild bankers made them surrender on the home front. So that's the Zionist bankers' fault. But they retaliated against the whole Jewish community, and the whole Jewish identity became endangered. Whereas what I've learnt is 100,000 German Jewish soldiers fought for General Erich Ludendorff and General Paul von Hindenburg's German-Prussian army in World War I. So that means if the Jewish Socialist Association in 2022 used the language, oh, we attacked the Western Front, we defeated the neo-Nazis, and then they celebrate all the rapes of the German civilians who were raped by the Allies and the Soviet army after the collapse of the Third Reich, well then they're going to be viewed as nasty son of a bitches. Or what were they doing around the world? What were they doing in Africa and extorting South Americans' market and looting and plundering India? And so what does the German or the Eastern European neo-Nazi have to do in order for them not to go for that nasty ordeal, the same as them? So what they're saying is the neo-Nazis cannot kill who Hitler tells them to kill, but the neo-Nazis can kill and murder on the orders of the Rothschild bankers who've colonized India and Africa, and kill who the Rothschild tell them to kill and murder. The double standards, the hypocrisy. So to prevent this, when we learned that 100,000 German Jewish soldiers fought for Germany's army in World War I, and 12,000 German Jewish soldiers died fighting for Germany's army in World War I against the Tsarist royalist Russians, well, the Fourth Reich, the Azad Hind Force, the sons and daughters of the Führer Subhash Chandra Bose-Netherjee and the Führer Mohan Singh Ji of the Indian National Army, the Indian Deutsche Legion, what we would be appealing for is to reach out to the Jewish Socialist Association, the Jewish Socialist Group, and say you must support Germany in World War I 100%. Because if the Jewish Socialist Associations, the Bernie Sanders, the Noam Chomskys, the Carl Sagan-like minds, as long as they support Germany in World War I, then the Indian Reich will not let the neo-Nazis from Ukraine or Poland or Germany attack the Jewish community, and will not let them blame the Jewish Socialist Association for the preventable Holodomor famine. Because the Jewish Socialist Association, who support the 100,000 German Jewish soldiers who fought for Germany in World War I, the Jewish Socialist Association who support who honor the sacrifices made by the 12,000 German Jewish soldiers who sacrificed their lives fighting for Germany in World War I, as long as you support Germany in World War I and do not boycott the German army in World War I and lose support for Germany on the home front in World War I, then the Indian neo-Nazis can protect the Jewish Socialist Association from harm's way, and we will not let the Reich blame the Jewish Socialist Association, the Neutral Charta, the pro-Palestinian Jewish community, we will not let them blame the Jewish Socialist Association for the Holodomor famine, meaning we will protect them and we will be in a better position to protect them. But if they do not support Germany in World War I, then there will be nothing that the Indian Deutsche Legion will be able to do to protect the Jewish community. And I would like to protect the Jewish Socialist Association, the lovely Bernie Sanders and the Noam Chomsky and the Carl Sagan like minds. So that's where I stand. So if in 2022 we have a Jewish voice in the Fourth Reich, the Bernie Sanders and the Noam Chomskys and the Carl Sagans, and the Fourth Reich has a policy where it's multicultural, left-wing, anti-racist, Die Linke, socialist Germany. And we have black people, white people, oriental people, indigenous South American people, LGBT, gypsy people. Now when it comes to gypsies, I'll be very brutally honest. Gypsy culture will be safe and protected. There's people who are into tarot cards, crystal ball, the culture, the song and dance, the earrings, the long colourful dresses. I will not let anyone from the Fourth Reich hurt a gypsy based on their appearance or their culture, their song and dance, their folklore and their songs. I will not let anyone hurt the gypsy community. And those who work cash in hand in the gypsy community and work very hard for the cash in hand economy, the black market, I'm not going to let them touch them. But a thief, whether they're gypsy or non-gypsy, has to be rehabilitated. And it's not a case of, oh, we only steal from the rich. No, a thief would steal from anyone if they're not looking. Thieves are very irritating, but they have to be rehabilitated and they'll be returned to their family safely. But other than that, the gypsy community will be safe, the LGBT community will be safe, and the Jewish Socialist Association, the New Reich Charter will be safe. And when we have a multicultural Commonwealth National Socialist Workers' Party, United Front, Fourth Reich, and then we look over to the Stalinist Russia and say, how fucking dare you? So that means a united Fourth Reich from the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Scandinavia, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Balkan states, Baltic states, and a united front looking at the Politburo, those 9 bastards who think they can dictate to millions of people how they have to live and live their ordinary day-to-day lives. It'll be a better position to get those wankers, those iron hands, those authoritarians in Stalinist Russia and in communist China to surrender. And it'll be a better position, it's connected to China, because with a united front like this, the Kuomintang, the Tibetans, the Japanese and Mongolians will be in a better position to seize power from the Communist Party of China. So that's my opinion. This is about a 30-minute blog. If you listen to me, all 3 blogs that I've recorded today in the South of Recreation Grounds, thank you very much. But we have to stop the Stalinists. I used to hate communism, but I realized it's not so much Marxism that's the problem. I'm not anti-Marxism, I just don't agree with Marxism. It's authoritarianism that's the problem, whether it's applied to communism, socialism, national socialism. It's authoritarianism that's the problem more than the ideology of communism. I'm against war communism, but I don't have a problem having a democratic election against a Marxist communist party in an election. They have every right to campaign in a democracy. But I am against war communism, Bolshevik communism, where they force their Politburo, the 9 Committee of Communists, to dictate to us how we have to live our lives. So if we've got this united Fourth Reich, a reconciled Fourth Reich with Jewish Socialist Associations, Commonwealth soldiers, and LGBT and gypsy voices, it's because I hope the Jewish Socialist Association, the Irish, and the LGBT and the gypsy community understand how much we in India needed the Fourth Reich. Because when Sebastian Bose-Netterji went to Germany, Adolf Hitler, the Führer, allowed Sebastian Bose-Netterji of the Azad Hind Fauj Indian National Army to set up a radio station called Free India Radio. So I'm sure if the Africans went to Adolf Hitler and the indigenous Mexicans went to Adolf Hitler, there will be a Free Aztlan Mexican radio and a Free Africa radio also. So we need the army more than anything. But that does not mean we agree with what the Jewish Socialist community were put through and rounded up and put through. We do not have any desire to recreate that suffering. But the way to prevent that suffering from ever happening again is for the Jewish Socialist Association to support 100% the German Prussian army, the General Erich Ludendorff and the General Paul von Hindenburg's German Prussian army in World War I. Now, many British people, English people feel, how can we support Germany? This Battle of the Somme, World War One, our grandfathers, how many died? You need to not have that sort of understanding. Well, I'm not here to tell you what you need to think or not think, but what I'm saying, it's not a case of letting your fathers or grandfathers who died in those wars down. It's a case of be thoughtful of your grandfathers who were very angry and very pissed off that they were sent to war in the first place, who did not want to go to war. Because the British Labour Party in the 1900s, Keir Hardie from Scotland, Socialist MP of the British Labour Party, was an opponent to World War One. William Crawford Anderson, a Scottish MP, Socialist MP in World War One, before World War One, said the Germans are our friends, not our enemies, so why were they sent to war? If you were to ask a question to the grandsons and the grandchildren or the great-great-grandchildren of those who died in World War One from Britain, say, why did your grandfather fight General Paul von Hindenburg and General Erich Ludendorff in World War One? They don't know. Why? Because General Erich Ludendorff and General Paul von Hindenburg of the German army in World War One did nothing to Britain to hurt them. It was the Zionist England who attacked the German army in World War One on the Western Front. Now, why did they attack? It wasn't a case because the Germans, the English were in danger. It's because the Zionist Rothschild bankers were defending their bulging back pockets of the money that they've stolen from Africa and India and First Nations Canada and Aboriginal Australia. Because the French conservative Zionists were doing no different in North Africa. So what were they doing? So it comes, the question is, what can the German army do in World War One? So that's what I wanted to say. So that's Govlove 84R of O.S.N.S.TEA. How can we help the Ukraine right now? Now, India is going to support Russia because authoritarian India will support authoritarian Russia. Now, though authoritarian India may support Russia, just remember the Indian government in exile in Great Britain does not support Russia in this war. We have nothing against the Russian National Socialist Workers' Party, those who want to overthrow this Stalinist Putin Iron Hand dictatorship. We support the Alexei Navalny, the Nikita Khrushchev and the Alexander Kerensky Russians who need international support. The Russian government in exile must not be blamed for this conflict, but we need to surround Putin and say surrender. And this, who knows fuck knows what's going to happen, but it's Govlove 84R of O.S.N.S.TEA. Peace.